BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season is in full swing, and we're into the home stretch for NBA and NHL playoffs. And there's more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from the MLB, NHL, and UFC. And in between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino. All the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino action. So BetOnline, the game starts here. So to conclude the TV reviews for the week, we had Dynamite last night. You got the numbers? Let me see if I can find the rating. I imagine it did not do good. Okay, because it had a lot of sports. This was the worst. This is the first week where just of about 6 weeks of 2 months that Dynamite's not going to be doing good numbers because we're just right. The playoffs just started. There was a bunch of basketball on and a bunch of hockey on last night. So they actually have
Well,
a lot
not
of
just that.
competition,
Do you remember the main event?
of AEW.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It was it's a part burner. We'll get to it.
Yeah. And bro,
yeah.
Disco, if I've said this 100 times, it might be too little. Bro, main events have to have main event names. That's all there is to it.
Right. Okay, so let's get the.
Can I tell you who was in the main event?
Yeah.
Jamie Hayter, who I like, and Statlander, who I like. They're
Right.
not names, though.
They were fighting for the chance to fight Mercedes Donato, Konnan.
Oh, my bad. Yeah.
All right, so the show started off very. I don't even know how to describe it. Right, so I'm going to try to explain what happened here, but me explaining it might not give you the actual visual, which is very awkward. All right, so the show opens and there's no of course, no recap or anything. They just go right to Master P brought up the trios champions, the Ops. They don't have Hook. Okay, so it's it's Shibata, Joe, and now Hobbs. Okay, Joe thanked Master P for everything he does, and they plugged his charity for student athletes. They call him Coach. They call him Coach P. By the way, I guess he coaches the team too.
Like a basketball team?
So or football team. Hang on,
Football team?
maybe. Let me see here. What does he coach? Who does Master P coach? Let me look that up here. Who does Master P coach? His AAU team, P. Miller's Ballers. Oh, they won three AAU national championships, by the way.
It's basketball, right?
Bro, listen to he's coach.
Is it basketball?
Yeah.
I
listen
told
to
you.
this.
Because remember, I don't know if you know this, Master P used to play basketball.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen to this.
Yeah.
He's coached, okay, on that team that he has, right? He's coached DeMar DeRozan, Brandon Jennings, Lance Stevenson, and Jalen Suggs.
Right.
Like he's coached NBA players.
Okay,
that's pretty crazy. I had no idea about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually Coach P, which kind of sounds like Coach Prime. I guess that's why he calls himself that. Okay, so they come out. He said, so before he can start his celebration, the Death Riders come in, and Marina Shafir walked out through the crowd. But then they came from because they swarmed the Ops, and Moxley was choking Joe, and Moxley. So they laid out the baby faces, and Moxley came face to face with Master P, who didn't back down. But before he could do anything, Joe locked on a Cochina clutch on the sleeper.
Right.
And then this is where it started to get awkward because he's got him in the sleeper, but he didn't take him down to the ground. So he's standing there, standing up, holding him in the sleeper. Master Peach tried to get a couple shots.
They were brutal, bro.
Brutal. Okay. So then she choked him out. Right. Oh, thank goodness. He choked him out. Okay. So then this starts getting off the rails. So the Young Bucks and Okada run down, and they bailed out Moxley by hitting Joe with a chair. And then Moxley gets to his feet. Okay. But Marina Shafir ran into the ring and kind of like in a screeching voice ushered Moxley out of the ring. Did you see that, Konnan?
Of course.
She was like screaming or something, right?
She adds absolutely nothing.
Okay, so that was just like very weird. All right. So then Swerve's music hits, and he ran to the ring to run off the Bucks. And Kenny's music hits. He walked out on the stage with a chair, dressed like a slob again, just shorts, sneakers with no socks, and just And the Young Bucks and the Death Riders bailed out from ringside and started heading to the back to the crowd. And the Ops were left standing tall with Omega and Swerve. Okay, so you have the Ops, Omega in the corner, and Swerve on the second rope, like standing in one corner, and the Death Riders and then the Young Bucks were gone. Then Joe got on the mic and addressed Moxley. Said if he won him, he's got him, and he would choke him out and take back his AEW World Championship. And like that was it. Like Kenny didn't say anything. Swerve didn't say anything. They just all got in the ring,
I
and
think
and then there was another awkward out. Music was just playing. They didn't cut away. Just like it just went on for like a long time, and then they
but
just
remember
left the ring.
but see what you're forgetting is he has individual production meetings.
Right.
Yeah.
But this was just like, or what's there's a million creative things these guys could have said, and like they said nothing. They just showed up and stood in the ring and
Right.
whatever.
Well, I think at what they're trying, the paint, I think everybody made sense that was involved except Master P, obviously, but they were New Orleans, so, and that's where he's from.
Look at these numbers.
Okay, but before we get to the numbers, I think what the picture they were trying to paint, Disco, was Omega and Swerve against the Death Riders.
I guess, but
like in that double or nothing.
It's like you're trying to paint that picture, and they're like just standing there, and like this, like I don't know. It's like very very flat ending to the segment.
100%.
Okay, so this was a good segment. Renee Paquet was with
You want to go over the numbers real quick?
Yeah, so I guess it's 528 was the actual number, which was very low, but in their defense, they got massive competition. So they lost 100,000 people basically.
Right.
Maybe a little more to the playoffs, which is understandable. That's like you're going to lose like 100,000 people to playoff sports. Like we could probably go deja vu last year. I think we're probably maybe seeing the identical thing in for identical losses of viewers, But I see the first segment. The top segment was the second segment. Okay, let's get over this. So let's talk about this. So they have Ricochet versus Mark Briscoe. Oh, no. So the backstage, Renee Paquette was with the Patriarchy, and Nick Wayne won the Ring of Honor TV Championship. She congratulated Nick, but Christian took the title and took credit for winning the championship. He asked Wayne if he understands what happens when he listens to him, and Wayne retorted that is what would happen if he had stuck with the plan. Then Christian said he loved his family. Oh, by the way, he insinuated that him and his mom to celebrate his victory.
Right.
And he said he loved his family. Right. He said he loved his family and walked away. Christian is
another great promo by Christian, and it was a short one.
And he's just like so invested. He's just got a great heel scowl.
Right.
Like the way his look.
Great. He is great. Yeah.
He's by far like one of the top 3 performers on that show. Like he sticks out like a sore thumb when he's in segments, So then they did Briscoe versus Ricochet, and I don't know why, but they beat Ricochet here.
Right.
But he got his heat back after because he hit him with a couple. I almost thought it was kind of like dismissive chair, but maybe intentionally he didn't just annihilate him with the chair shots, because the first one was kind of like he was kind of, I don't know. What do you think about these chair shots at the end? They're kind of weird.
Well, more important than that, bro, is like Ricochet was kind of on a roll, right? Then he lost to Ospreay. Then he lost to Strickland. I don't have a problem because they're top guys. But then he loses to Briscoe.
Right. Well, what are you doing? This guy's got a good heel thing going. These are the guys he should be beating.
Right.
For sure. This is like what Mark Briscoe does absolutely not. Like, if you want to push either Mark Briscoe or Ricochet, like you're choosing Mark Briscoe over Ricochet, you got serious problems.
And then he brought out the very JoJo lame golden scissors. Okay.
Yeah. Right. And then Kevin Knight comes out.
Takes him away from him even more, right. JoJo. Yeah.
Right. So Kevin Knight comes out and ran Ricochet off. And then they showed the Rock and Roll Express in the crowd to end the segment. So that was funny. All right. But yeah, the Kevin Knight, I'll get to the Kevin Knight guy later on. So Tony was back in the ring and introduced FTR. So now Stokely Hathaway walked out instead. Now he's their manager, and he cut like this super long promo on why he's their manager now. And so Cash Wheeler finally got to talk. He said what happened with Danny Garcia was an easy decision for them, and he blamed 2.0 and Garcia for the entire situation. Wheeler said they were done putting people like Adam Copeland and Danny Garcia first. From now on, it was FTR first. Then Dax got on the mic, and they called out the Rock and Roll Express, and he asked them to come to the ring to give him credit. He called them one of the greatest tag teams of all time and asked them what their greatest match ever was. And he didn't allow them to answer and said it was Philadelphia at the Midnight Express, and said the Midnights were better than them. Then Harvard asked how old they are, and one once again he wouldn't let them answer, and he said they looked like 100. Then Ricky Morton refused to let the embarrassment continue and grabbed the mic. Then Stokely threw an FTR T-shirt at the Rock and Roll, and then FTR ambushed him, and they gave Ricky Morton a spike pile driver. Okay, now this idea was like, I guess, to get the FTR heat, but this is all contrived heat.
Right.
Like they're forcing this down everybody's throat. It's like,
But
like
I will say this. I will
go ahead.
say this. FTR as baby faces were very lame. Okay? At
Right.
least they have a little bit, oomph in them. You know what I'm saying? Because I thought that was great. And we've seen it a million times, but it's always funny when he's like, he wants to talk. He goes, "How old are you?" And he takes out the microphone and blah, blah. And he takes out the microphone and just being, and saying that maybe the Midnight Express was better tag team than them and all that. I wonder how many people know who they're even talking about. But, I like them better as heels right now.
Right. And plus, well, because they need somebody to work against the Hurt Business. They need the Hurt Business. He's a good heel tag team to work with. Okay, and they can do that. So next was Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey against the Young Bucks, who are back now in wrestling. I'm just going to tell you guys right now, if this match is absolutely not my cup of tea. Okay, and if people think that this is like the type of wrestling that's going to that is going to deliver and gain fans, I would vehemently disagree. A lot of very choreographed looking spots. This Kevin Knight guy's got good skills, but and I don't know why he does this multiple times during the match. He did a somersault before he did a move,
right?
Which is like, okay, great, dude. It's like this. You know what this looks like? This looks like if you had if you hired, like if you at the Performance Center, okay, that if you went out and recruited wrestlers, okay, and you recruited football players, rugby players, male figure skaters, and male gymnasts. This is the type of match would look like if the male figure skaters and the male gymnasts were wrestling each other. A lot of thigh slapping, a lot of flips, and it looked. I mean, my opinion, this stuff looks ridiculous when it's just egregious like that for 15 minutes. I know you probably liked it, but I mean, this is not my cup of tea. What'd you think of this?
Yeah, first of all, the Young Bucks probably the best shape I've ever seen them in.
They're excellent shape, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah. I like this type of match. Yes, there were some things that I cringed and said, dude, really? I'll give you one of them. Bro, the guy literally walked on the banister, like a long walk too.
Right.
And he went to do the Meltzer driver and he totally missed.
Right. And then they acted like they hit it.
Right.
So just like, yeah, I mean, like I get it that's like an acrobatic thing. You're running across the banister. Okay, but like good psychology is you would just run on the floor, jump up on the banister, and then jump off the banister. That's where if you're running across the banister, if you take a misstep, you fall in the crowd. It's a botch, and it looks.
Yeah, but you got to remember, Disco. They're trying to like show people creative moves so they can get chant like that, and
All right, so the backstage, Tony Storm was interviewed by Renee, and they plugged her appearance at the film festival this weekend. And with the fire of a million warriors, Queen Aminata showed up and accepted Tony's challenge for an eliminator match on Collision this Saturday. Did you see this?
Of course I saw it. Bro, here's another
like
guy.
Here's 1 to 10, like a 0 of like, I'm here to fight. Like she wasn't excited. She wasn't like, just like.
But as you. Here's another guy that to me is worthless. Mm-hmm. Bro, the Butler, the Lester, Luther.
Lester the Butler. Yeah.
He adds absolutely nothing to that act.
He carries her off. That's
big deal. Anybody could do that.
She jumps in his arms and carries her.
Right.
So. But that's Jericho's buddy, so you're very Chris.
Oh, it's true.
So our boys, the Hurt Business comes out, and MVP got on the mic and put over Benjamin the Lashley's monsters. Then MJF shows up in a sports car backstage.
Right.
Okay. So then he comes to the ring. He's got a microphone. The Corvette. Yeah. And he said, MJF said they knew it a good time last week. They wanted to have a great time for the rest of their lives. He just needed 3 thumbs up. Then MVP gave his first thumbs up. And then Benjamin the best part about this is they're doing the thumbs up and the crowd's like with the thumbs up.
Right.
Because when Benjamin had his head like sideways, the crowds are going, whoa. They put the thumbs up. Yay. They pop. So like, bro, MJF is great. So Benjamin said he didn't give MJF a thumbs up because of a bunch of broads and a watch. He did because of MVP. MJF said, we all love Montel and our good friend Bob. Then Lashley put his thumbs up in the middle, and MJF asked for a second. He said, told Lashley brings a lot to the table, brings something to the table that Bobby doesn't. He said he knows AEW better than anybody, he cuts corners better than anybody. And MJF said if he's in the syndicate, they won't just run AEW, they'll run wrestling. He then said they got off on the wrong foot, thought he'd accept blame, and he would do something he's never done before. He said he would say he's sorry, but then he struggled to say he's sorry. It was pretty funny. And then offered Lashley the car that he drove up in. And he said, really? He goes, let me see the keys. So they walk out the back. Lashley gets in the car with Sheldon, and Lashley sticks his thumb out the side of the car and gives him the thumb down and drives off with the car. Okay, and I thought, I mean, this was a funny segment, and I thought MJF was excellent in this because his acting is off the chain. This was the best thing on the show, even though it's kind of silly the way they ended it. Well, what'd you think of this?
So I knew exactly when Bobby said, "Hey, where's the car?" I knew exactly he was going to get in and he was going to leave.
Right.
But we need to, I think pretty soon we need to get either 3 thumbs down or 3 thumbs up.
100%, and we need to get into some physicality here because it's been like, bro, running like 4 or 5 weeks now at this.
I do like when MJF refers to him as Bob.
Right, yeah, it's like totally right, yeah. But I like the fact that MJF isn't backing down from these guys at all.
No,
which is good. I think he might end up as a babyface here. The way he's acting, he's acting like the babyface. But
bro, remember when he was going, I'm sorry, and the people were going, say you're sorry.
Right.
They like him.
They like him.
Yeah.
But the problem here is that Lashley, these guys are baby faces too. So it's like, so you're going to have a heel. I don't know. This is a.
I like this because it's one of it's the most compelling storyline they got going
on any show. Okay, so then they go back to the back, and MJF said he was going to stroll to the back. I wouldn't say
on any show.
He said so backstage. Hangman Page was interviewed about Kyle Fletcher. Said he put him on the ground on sight. Okay, he said I see him. I'm put him on the ground. Then MJF walks into the interview and said his haircut makes him look inbred. And Hangman said MJF hasn't changed since he was 12, and MJF said he was going to stroll back into the world title picture with the Hurt Syndicate and become a 2-time champion. Hangman said he needed to do something after he knows he can't win matches or hang with him and the Owen. And MJF said they're 1-1. If they meet again, he would send Seabiscuit back to the glue factory. He then said if Hangman manages to make it to the finals of the Owen, he would do what he does best and choke. Patience, he would never give MJF something to choke on after he walked off. I say he would give something to choke on after he walked off. Another very good exchange between Hangman Page. That's good they got MJF. They're using him in the best 2 angles on the show and the 2 most interesting things they have right now. Would you agree with that?
Right, and what he's best at, being
right.
I thought that promo backstage vignette, just like the one with Kristen, was very, very good.
I completely agree. Okay. So then they do Keshta and Josh Alexander against Ospreay and Brody King. It'll take a while to guess who takes the pin here, Brody King. So after the match, they continue the attack on King, and Ospreay try to get back in, but they put him down with a choke slam. Excellent choke slam by Archer. I good bump on that. Then Kyle Fletcher headed to the ring and clapped for his boys, and they wanted to continue the assault on Ospreay. But Hangman Page made out because he just saw Kyle Fletcher, and he said it's on site. Then Rocky Romero and Trent Beretta jumped Page.
Wow. What were the numbers for that? That must have been huge numbers.
Okay, so now the Don Callis. So they laid out the baby faces. Okay, so they want to hear the take of who's this guy that's reviewing the show? Is this Jason? The reviewer it's Jake Barnett. Okay, right. I want to give you Jake Barnett's take on this because this was interesting. I thought. I don't even know who Jake Barnett is, but Jake Barnett said this: the Don Callis family may be the size of the peak NWO in a few months at this rate. Okay, so next is the main event.
Let me just say 2 things. I love Don Callis, but that family has no credibility. That's number 1. And number 2, bro, Ospreay and Takeshita have great chemistry together. I like when they're in the ring.
Okay, I will say this, but Takeshita, Josh Alexander, Ospreay, Takeshita, 2 of their big boys, but this week they lost viewers.
Yep.
That match lost viewers. Look at that. They lost like 30,000 viewers.
Right.
And then the main event tails off. Bro, that's unbelievable. Your main event is your lowest segment on the show. It
always is. Every week.
It's like, remember when we were talking about, we were reviewing Raw, and we were saying, bro, Raw's losing like 500,000 viewers from the time it starts to the time it ends, and they fixed all that.
Right.
It's like, when is Tony going to realize, you need to fix your main event? You need to build towards it. Not make it sound like, oh my God, this is like, why is this the main event? And half the people are turning off the channel, turning the TV off, It's like we already saw the best stuff. It's like you're giving them like your third best match on the show for your main event. Well, what do you think the people are gonna do? Stay tuned.
Right.
It's like they don't want to see this, you know. All right. So next was Chris Statlander and get Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter goes over, and there's 2 minutes left in the show. Mercedes Moné comes out and she's dancing, and for 2 minutes straight, she danced on the stage, and the other girl in the ring, like pointing at her, for 2 consecutive minutes with no interact, nothing, and just this. They ran down the card for Collision in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, and this was like the flattest ending like the show I've seen in a long time. And look at the funniest thing is, look how Raw ended on Monday, and look how this show ended on
Right.
Wednesday, right?
So main event, main event, very good.
Right,
Not main event names.
right,
Got very low numbers.
right,
Okay, and a flat ending.
right. So let's go over the stuff. I'm gonna actually, since there was 2 WrestleMania nights, I'm going to. This is not going to be a top 5. This is going to be the top stuff of all my segments on
Right.
the week. All right. Okay. The MJF segment with Bobby Lashley and Hangman Page.
Right.
Christian promo.
Right.
The Rollins SmackDown promo.
Have you noticed that in the last 3 weeks to a month, something that we never ever did, and we've been doing more?
Yeah.
We never had AEW in our top 5, and we have recently.
Right.
Yeah.
On a consistent basis, actually.
Right.
Do
you think that'll ever get reported?
No, of course not.
Of course.
Rollins SmackDown promo.
Right.
I thought was a very good promo, trying to save that game, which he did a good job. For me, the El Grande Americano entrance at WrestleMania.
Right.
Okay, I don't think you'll have the same one. The Dominic Mysterio win at WrestleMania, huge pop. And I couldn't decide. This is 1 and 1A. The end of Raw, the Raw segment ending with the introduction of Braun Breaker and the Gunther segment were the top 2 things of the week, in my opinion. Well, what about you?
I've got honorable mention. You know how they shoot the wrestlers coming in before the show?
Yes.
Carlito touching Raquel on her shoulder and her, getting mad and like, you don't touch me, okay? And I
that
thought
little thing was one of your favorite things of the show.
It was great. It was great. They both did it great.
Oh, because they're just showing him coming in and they just like, hey, let's do this.
Right. And he's like, hey, guys, touch me. Right. And he's always kind of trying to get with her, which is funny. Right. And so then I also liked, I don't know if you remember this, when what's this guy's name? Finn Balor came in and he's kind of congratulating Dominic, but there's tension, and Liz is trying to keep the peace. You know, that was very well done.
Right, fake celebration, kind of.
Right, and she's like, "Hey, man, we should all be happy." And she's trying to calm the tension because obviously this guy's jealous of Dom.
Right.
I thought number 4 was a tie between Christian and Nick Wayne. Christian and Nick Wayne promo and the MJF Cowboy.
Right.
Number 4, I've got Gunther and Gunther, Cole, and Pat McAfee. Right. Mm-hmm. Number 3, I have Dominic winning the belt.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Number 2, I've got the Seth promo from SmackDown, and number 1, I've got the ending of night 2 with ending of night 2 and the ending of Raw.
Right? Yeah. Okay, yeah. Wait, the ending of night 2 is Cena?
Night 1.
No,
I'm sorry.
night 1. Yeah, I was going to say. The Cena Cody thing was like the worst.
Yeah, you were probably thinking, what? Yeah,
right. That was better than the ending of Raw.
Right.
All right.
Yo, what's up? I just want to thank you guys for watching this clip. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And join our YouTube membership for hours and hours of exclusive, unedited, uncensored content. And being a member will help you get involved in our upcoming live streams. Thank you for your support. Thank you for riding with us. I know you got a lot of other podcast choices, be it wrestling or other ones. And thank you for picking us. Boom.